Hello everybody, K-Whip here, and today I'm going to be starting potentially a new series called Who Made This Gun? And basically I'm going to be covering a gun that I have no idea what Bungie was thinking when they made it, or what they were thinking was just plain stupid. So this is going to be a bit of a critical series where I can release some of my contempt towards Bungie and throw some shade their way, because even though I love their game, Bungie has made a lot of choices that just seem lazy or unintelligent. So today we're going to be looking at one of those, the Dreg's Promise. This is a not-so-exotic sidearm that can be obtained through the Challenge of Elders if you're running out of potatoes in your vault and are looking to stock up. And to start analyzing this weapon, we might as well start with its basic perks and stats, and statistically the Dreg's Promise is really not too impressive. I'll compare it to some of the sidearms I have on me here. Here's the Wormwood. Look at all the green for the Trespasser here. It's much better than the Dreg's Promise. And then here it is compared to an Iron Wreath. And of course the stats are going to vary between the rolls you have on the different sidearms and what perks and ballistics you're going to use on your Dreg's Promise. But really, however you stack things up, it is quite pale in comparison to a lot of good legendary sidearms, and especially the Trespasser. It can't even come close to comparing to its statistics. So not a good start for the Dreg's Promise. It's not doing too well statistically. The one thing it's got going for it is it does have a magazine size of 21, which is kind of needed considering how this weapon works, which I'll get into in just a second here. Now let's dive into the perks a bit here. We're going to start with the last perk actually, being shock rounds. High ricochet shock rounds with enhanced target acquisition. And when you first kind of hear this, it maybe sounds like a decent version of Hidden Hand or something. And really what this perk is kind of just changes the bullets that this weapon fires, it seems. And so the electric bullets that it's shooting actually have a lot of travel time, and they kind of work similar to the actual Dreg pistol in PvE, where they're kind of slow moving and don't do instant damage. And I get that these weapons are supposed to be pulled kind of straight off the Fallen and be very similar to how they are in PvE, but this concept has absolutely no place in PvP. These rounds add a whole lot of travel time to the bullets and make it so your shots take a very long time to actually reach their target, especially from farther ranges, and it will lead to people being able to escape your bullets more easily as they have more time to get into cover as the bullets are coming towards them. And also it's just going to slow down your time to kill, and your bullets aren't going to connect on people and kill people as fast as they would if it was instant damage, obviously. And this is an especially large problem for a sidearm, because sidearm's position in Destiny is really just to be a close range monster, and specifically to just shut down shotgun warriors at this point in the game. So when people are rushing at you with a shotgun, it's something that can do quick damage and get them down before they can one-hit kill you. However, if you're using a Dreg's Promise, you get to wait for that damage to kick in, giving that shotgunner even more time to close the gap on you and warrior you. And you'll see in these clips that I actually do end up getting like a lot of kills after I've stopped shooting or after I've already died, because the bullets just haven't reached their target yet. So these rounds also add to a lot of trades and a lot of kills when you're actually already dead, which is something that really Destiny doesn't need a whole lot more of. And then last point about why these shock rounds are just so terrible and the travel time is so brutal is that it also just makes you waste a ton of ammo. You never really know when people are dead or not, so you kind of just gotta keep spamming this thing and hoping that your bullets are gonna connect and finally kill someone, because everything with this gun is on a bit of a delay. Now moving over to the middle row, believe it or not, I have beef in this row as well. One thing that disappoints me a little bit here is that there is no range perk in the middle, and range is just extremely helpful on sidearms, because the range fall off on sidearms is just insane, and you start doing less damage very quickly at range. So that's going to hurt you in close range gunfights against hand cannons, and even people that start warrioring you with a shotgun from pretty far ranges. So that hurts this sidearm in the middle row a bit, and it's something that legendary sidearms can get, as well as the Trespasser can get with a reinforced barrel or hand loaded. It does have one and actually seemingly two good perks in this middle row, however, the best probably being Perfect Balance, which is a solid option and can't complain with getting extra stability on a sidearm, especially one that's a 3-round burst. But as I said, I would like to see a range option in there. But then the thing that bothers me in this middle row is that they do throw in Field Scout in here. And you would think with Field Scout being an option on this weapon that there would be some way where you would actually spawn in with more ammo in your sidearm, but that is just flat out not the case. There's absolutely no way you can spawn into the game or after each life with more ammo with the Dreg's Promise. You can have Field Scout, a special ammo chest piece, and sidearm boots, and you are going to spawn with the exact same ammo as you would with any other setup. So this is a completely empty perk in PvP, and you're not going to be getting any extra ammo, which as I said is quite obnoxious because this gun can fly through ammo, considering you don't know when you're actually going to kill someone. And that is quite a bummer because Field Scout on other weapons usually just about doubles the amount of ammo they will start a game with. So to just have that be an empty perk in the middle row and not have a range perk in there, it just bothered me. And makes this gun just even worse. And to really put the nail in the coffin on how terrible this gun is, Bungie picked the first perk of this weapon to be Grave Robber. So every once in a while when you melee someone with this weapon, you're going to refill your mag, and this perk is usually quite bad, but it also just doesn't really make sense because this is the largest magazine size you can get on a sidearm. So for one of the perks to be a chance of refilling that just seems strange when this is the sidearm where that problem probably comes up the least. So yeah, just about all the perks on this gun just suck except for perfect balance, and in the case of shock rounds it actually makes the weapon worse. So can I ask, who made this gun? Who thought all this stuff was a good idea, that this would be a good addition to PvP, it would be fun, it would be good, give people something new to use? I don't get it, it's just terrible. I would take a blue sidearm in the Iron Wreath archetype any day over the Dreg's Promise, and yeah, it's just genuinely awful. If they ever decide to fix this gun, which I think would be pretty cool because sidearms really don't see a whole ton of use, and the Trespasser's really cool, so if it had a fellow exotic sidearm that was actually good, that'd be pretty entertaining. I like the idea of having a 21 mag size. I wish they would have Field Scout actually be effective so you could have some good ammo with this, and then just make shock rounds not have travel time because that just makes this thing unusable and kind of defeats the point of a sidearm in PvP. So those are some of the changes I would make to make this thing usable. The whole no range perk isn't a huge deal, but it's something I would prefer, especially if they're not going to have Field Scout do anything. But I don't know, this gun sucks, there's a lot of exotics that suck, and I just want to throw out how poorly designed this gun was, among some other exotics that I might make videos on in the future, if you guys enjoy this video. So just definitely let me know if you enjoy this kind of rant exposing video where I call out Bungie and whine a lot. Let me know if you like that because there's a couple other weapons I have in mind where I can do that. But anyway, that's all I have to say about the Dreg's Promise. I doubt whoever made this gun's ever gonna stand up and admit it because this thing is a train wreck that Bungie probably just wants to forget about. Anyway, thanks for watching the video and see you later. The 2 burst. Oh my god. No.